Yeah, it has, yeah. It's well, we're local to here, so it's quite a. We felt the full impact, so to speak, of the outlet, the sort of the of that happening on the news. And me and Terry had been here, I think, a week before watching a Mickey Flanagan. Only the week before, which made it even, you know.
Surreal, isn't it?
Yeah, and all the people that were injured or killed in that disaster were all from places we know, you know, because it's so local. Yeah, it's just terrible, yeah. But it's back to place. You can't keep it down. Manchester, you know, keeps on ticking, and it's back, and you can't let these people win, can you? Bands are still coming, which is brilliant, you know. It just makes people stronger. It's just made people more resilient, I think, without a doubt. I mean, that's good to see. Getting to play with Status Quo, it's well documented. We're big fans of Status Quo.
Of course.
Yeah, so to play on that bill's a no-brainer, an absolute no-brainer. Yeah, and last night was the first night in Glasgow, and it was absolutely incredible. And the big venue, the Hydro, never been there before. Superb, yeah. Been here loads of times to watch bands. Played the Ritz with the Wild Arts, and that was a big one for us. We always go, that's probably the place we've been to watch bands the most, I would say. And we always said we'd love to play there, but never thought we'd play here. It's a different world, completely different world. It's a different setup. We learn fast. You need to, well, Terry's amazing, and Eric, and everybody works as a team. Nobody wants you to fail. There's no point in helping you get to this point and then watching you fall on your face, because you come to an event like this and you need so much preparation. There's so many things, there's so much knowledge you need to have that you just don't know about. Nobody tells you. Like, for instance, the lighting guy. We need to bring our own monitor system, our own desk. I can only imagine what it must be like turning up as a band with no information, no knowledge, just in your van with your guitars and say, where do you want us? Because you just get hard luck, lads. You take your responsibility for your own show on these events. You're basically given a time slot, and you organise your own gig, really.
Right.
You know, everything is you bring in.
So you've had to increase the crew?
Yeah, we already had a crew, but we needed a more experienced crew, because you only get experience of these events by operating in these events, and not many people get to do that. So you have to hire in a crew to work with our crew, so that's twice as many people. And they bring in all their gear, desks and monitor desks, and yeah, it's a big layout. It's a big layout.
And you need a lot more gaffer tape.
It's a lot more gaffer tape, yeah. That's Neil's job.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Neil Gaffer.
He's in charge of the gaffer tape. Yeah, the core guys we've bumped into to Rhino. He came and had a bit of crack with us last night. Great fella. And Richie Malone. Had a bit of crack with him. I think all the crew really at the moment. We keep ourselves to ourselves on these sorts of things. Kind of speak until you're spoken to. You know, we don't want to stick our noses in. But last night, I think the Skynyrd's keys man came out and watched our set for a little while. Simon said. Which is cool. I mean, at the end of the day, as much as you're in charge of your own performance, and they don't want you to be a hassle to them, you're still part of their show. You know, you're an important part of the people out there are Skynyrd's fans. And you've got to be good with them. You know, and they want their fans to have a good night. So they are, whether they appears so or not, they are, you know, on your case. You need to be good, and you need to be doing the business, even if you don't see them or hear them. They're keeping an eye on you, without a doubt. Well, you've been privy to the process. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Well, we have a lot of songs we like playing, and there's so many factors. It's such a short space of time, and in an arena as well. Tempo is a big thing. You can't play complicated, fast songs because they don't come across very well. You know, either songs with a good tempo, a good solid steady tempo have a big impact. You need to take into consideration the bigger songs, the songs that people might go away and check out as a result of seeing you. So you don't want to play anything too obscure. You've got to be happy playing the songs you choose. They've got to flow. There's a tunings and guitar swaps. You see, it's all right, people say, well, why don't you play this, why don't you play that? Well, if we're going to start tuning guitars up and swapping guitars, you're losing valuable time, and you can't go a minute over your half an hour allocated slot, or else you're soon in the bad books for people. So it's got to fit. So song lengths are a big thing. It's just got to fit, you know, and it's got to work. And you've got to think about the pace of the set. You know, it can't be a set full of fast songs. It's got to breathe, and it's, you know, there's a lot to it. But yeah, I was happy with the songs we played last night. You can niggle, you can argue over it and pull it in pieces, but I think once you've picked your songs, you just got to stick with them and have faith in what you're doing. So yeah, but yeah, I'm happy with what we're doing so far. So. Yeah, it's weird. It's strange seeing everyone sat down. It's hard to gauge. Playing in an arena as well because it's so dark. And they're not your fans, and they're so far away, and they're seated. You have no frame of how well it's going down. You just don't know how well you're doing because people are sat down watching. No, that's it. That's another big thing as well. You've just got to go out there and have confidence and faith in what you're doing, and just have faith in the fact that what you've been doing for the last few years, the last 10 years in our case, that's been working, it ain't gonna fail just because you think they're sat down or they're not interested. You just got to do what you do, and you pick up fans, whether you think you're not going to, whatever you do. Yeah, and we've had some great feedback just from last night. Yeah, you know, we did a decent amount in t-shirts and stuff, considering, you know, yeah, well happy. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Full Nelson campaign has gone. It's just gone so fast. It only seems like 2 minutes ago it was released. You know, still the image is still everywhere. It's still feels like it's kind of fresh. And the songs before Curating came along, we still work full time as well, but it was taking 2 years between albums really, because we're gigging so much. We can't take the time off to write an album. We're gigging and writing songs when we can really. But since Curating came along, it's really kicked us up the backside, and we've got 10 songs written now, you know, and it's not been a year since Full Nelson was released. And Curating, all right, you've got to strike while the iron's hot, you know. And while you're writing songs, while you're writing good songs, we've never written an album and then stopped and then left it ages. If you're writing good songs, you're in a good place writing songs, just keep writing them. You know, it might seem like a year later another album's come out, but those songs off that album were probably written days, weeks in amongst the other songs off the other album. You just keep writing and writing and writing all the time. No, absolutely. Stephen, the Full Nelson was more or less all written before Stephen came in. I think we wrote one or two, and he'd added some parts. He's a fantastic guitar player, you know, and he'd been in a band writing songs before. So he recorded that album with us, but this album, he's totally acting. You can't dismiss people's ideas. I don't think. Me and Adam have always written all the songs, but if any of the lads have any ideas and they're good, then embrace it. Take, you know, without a doubt. You're foolhardy, I think, to not let other people have input. And Stephen's a great guitar player, and he's written. With a new song the new song called Freak City, it's called, and he came up with most of that, and that's fantastic, I think. Yeah, and then Hero, he plays Hero. Stephen plays a solo in Hero, you know, which is Adam's always played all the solos before. You've got to sort of develop as a band, and you know, make use of all of your commodities and what people are good at. We're not precious about anything. Whatever's good for the band is good, isn't it? And good for the songs. Yeah, we're going to the studio to record some live demos to hopefully, you know, to put on the table for some producers and see what they think and what they can do. You know, we've got an idea of what we want, where we want to go with it. So we've been thinking about that for a long time. So Adam, our guitar player's banging into his producing. He's produced all the albums so far. You know, so he's into who we choose. So. I'll leave it to Adam really. I don't want to get in. I never want to get involved in things that I don't want to muddy the waters. My stupid ideas. I'll just leave it to the experts. You know, if I have an idea, I'll come up, I'll suggest it. But I'm not precious because I know it's not my forte. You know, I'm happy to write songs and unload gear. and do interviews. I'm happy with that. And wear stupid clothes on stage. That's my part to play, you know. Producing, that I'll leave that to Adam. Yeah, all the technical stuff, yeah. That's great.